Well, a very, very happy Wednesday morning to everyone, and welcome to the John Kentera Show on YouTube, on Facebook, and X. Glad you could join us on a Wednesday morning. Very excited about what I saw last night. Granted, Dave Roberts kind of just mailed that one in a little bit last night, and we'll get into that, and we're going to get to your questions. So if you have questions, start sending them in right now. But want to remind everyone, with the Padres being off tomorrow, in fact, they're going to fly over to Arizona after the ball game today, and they'll have an off day over in Phoenix before they tee it up against the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are starting to pick it up. They've won a couple of games in a row, trying to crawl back to that 500 mark. And tomorrow night, we will be on from 7 to 8 tomorrow evening. We're going to do another Thursday night special. Hopefully you'll join us. We'll break down the entire series between our Padres and Dodgers with the rubber game coming up this afternoon. And tomorrow night, my longtime buddy, one of my great buddies of all time, Brad Sesmath from over Arizona, going to join us and give us a preview of Torey Lovullo's Diamondbacks. And I can tell you the war drums have been beaten for Torey Lovullo. He's trying to get this thing turned around, but they lose Corbin Burns to Tommy John surgery. And we'll find out more about the Diamondbacks tomorrow night between 7 and 8 o'clock. Now, as usual, I would ask you, if you're tuned in for the very, very first time, please subscribe. It doesn't cost a dime. Please subscribe. We're trying to drive our viewership up. And like, and make sure to turn on notifications, especially with tomorrow night. Normally we do, Monday, Wednesday, Friday shows at 9 a.m., but we're going to try to do on these Thursday night when possible. The Padres are off. We're going to try to do a show on Thursday, which will act as our Friday show. So make sure you turn on your notifications, and please tell a friend. There are a lot of people out there I know that would like to tune into the program. They listen to me for years and years and years on the radio, and they're trying to still find me a little bit. I got a nice call last week from the Madres, the longest running fan club and supporting group for the Padres. And I'm going to be speaking to their group on June 21st. I'm going to go down and be their guest speaker at their brunch. So I'll look forward to that. I've had a lot of people asked me about my weekend last weekend. We had Dylan Hernandez. Great insight from Dylan the other day. And I know we had some technical difficulties, but Dylan was fantastic. And yeah, we talked a lot about the Dodgers because they were coming to town. We're going to talk tomorrow night about the Diamondbacks. I want Padre fans to be coached up and have the scouting report on some of these teams that we're playing in the National League West. I can tell you this. Dodgers a game back of the Padres right now, but the Giants are only a half game back. They're playing good ball. They've won 6 in a row. But we had a great interview with Dylan the other day, but I didn't get the opportunity to talk about last weekend. And I had a huge weekend. On Friday, my wife and I went up to the Olive Garden at 3:30 on Friday afternoon. We were invited by the 1975 Maricosta College baseball team that won the state championship, and they were being honored on Saturday. But a lot of the guys knew me. They knew my history as a player at Maricosta, my history as a coach at Maricosta, and they knew I was going to be a big part of the inaugural Hall of Fame celebration because I spoke on behalf of the Seeley family. Coach John Seeley, who coached for many years at Maricosta, was my junior college coach. Kevin Towers, junior college coach. Chris Chambliss, Ray Smith, Doc Edwards. All those guys played in the big leagues except Kevin and I. He had a great baseball program that unfortunately they dropped several years ago. It'd be nice if they could bring back both their football and their baseball programs because they had some unbelievable players. Willie Buchanan played football there. Mike Kozlowski, who's a defensive back for the Miami Dolphins. I could go on and on and on. They had a great football program under Bill Corcoran and a great baseball program under John Seeley. So we had this great dinner on Friday night, and it was really cool because the former longtime sports editor of the Blade Tribune, Steve Schofield, and his wife Diane came out. And Steve covered me in high school. In fact, my last high school baseball game, we got beat by Curtis Burkhead and the Crawford Colts at Mesa College. And I remember as a 17-year-old played my last high school game. The bus had to wait because Steve Schofield was interviewing me in the third base dugout. And then a year later, he was riding on the bus with us to the state championships my freshman year at Maricosta when we won the conference title, played in the state tournament, and we were 0-2 in barbecue that year. But Steve became a really great friend. It was great that the 1975 team, invited him as well. So then fast forward to Saturday. And I got to tell you, I had so much fun. I had to get up early, but I drove down to West Hills High School. And by the way, they got a really nice facility. I really enjoyed going down there. It was opening day for American Legion Baseball, the 100th anniversary of American Legion Baseball. And I got involved with them 7 years ago. They were trying to bring American Legion Baseball back. Myself, John Maffey, Dennis Ackerman, the former San Diego CIF commissioner, have gotten involved, and we're like on the advisory board for the American Legion Baseball League. And 7 years ago, we were trying to get 4 teams to play summer baseball. Kids that maybe couldn't afford to, play on travel teams. I want as many kids in San Diego playing ball, and I don't care if it's baseball, softball, basketball, soccer. I want everybody playing. It's good for you. And you never know who's going to develop when, but I wanted to see American Legion Baseball come back because, hey, let's face it, and I paid the bill for soccer and volleyball and softball for years and years and years with my kids. And I know it's not cheap. And a lot of those years, I was not making a lot of money. I had to call, hey, Dad, can you help? I don't have the money to pay the fees for a club. I was there. I know what it's like. And so I was glad to be a small part in trying to bring American Legion Baseball back. And a man by the name of Peter Rolf Onstead, he is the post commander at my dad's old American Legion. My dad was an American Legion for over 50 years in Encinitas. And Peter Rolf Onstead has been unbelievable. And there have been a lot of twists and turns, a lot of curveballs that have been thrown to him. He has done an incredible job. We were hoping that one year to get 4 teams. We're up to 16 teams now. Valley Center's got 2 teams. They brought their kids out on Saturday. IMC'd it. Peter Rolf Onstead was there, the commissioner for District 22. We honored my buddy Randy Jones. We had some great people out there. We had Terry Smith. And I know none of you know who Terry Smith is. Terry Smith worked for Liquid Investments, Ron Fowler's company, for 49 years. She worked with Ron Fowler, and she made a great donation. Ron Fowler made a very generous donation to American Legion Baseball. And a man that I had never met, but know his son very well, the Dolan family, who owns Bullies East, J.D. Dolan. 82 years young, came out Saturday morning. We acknowledged him. He made a very, very nice donation to American Legion Baseball, and it was great to meet him. I'd heard about him for so many years. He's been such a great, loyal supporter of San Diego State athletics for many, many years. Tim Fillmore, who is the assigning secretary for Pacific Umpires, made a very, very nice donation. Dominic and Allie Ackerman were a big part of it. They did a lot of behind-the-scenes work. And so we had this amazing opening day at West Hills High School, and then they played ball, and they played 4 games. Another guy that played a big part in Saturday was a man by the name of Mike Basalo. Mike Basalo coached and taught at San Pasquale for many, many years and has been their PA announcer for over 50 years in high school football. And he drove over from Arizona to, be the PA announcer for 4 ball games. And then he was driving back to Arizona. The guy's crazy, but we really appreciated what Mike brought to the table. And then over at Hoover High School, they had another opening ceremony. Dennis Ackerman was the MC for that, and they honored Billy Capps, who in 1954 was the MVP for the San Diego team that represented Hoover High School when they won the National American Legion Baseball Championship. And Billy Capps went on, served in the Marine Corps, was a San Diego PD officer, and it was a great day. It was a great day for American Legion Baseball to kick off their 100th anniversary. And if you get an opportunity and there's a ball game in your neighborhood, go out there and support. It doesn't cost anything to go to the games. Go on out there and have a grand old time. So then that was on Saturday morning, and then I came home, rested up for a couple of hours, threw on a nice suit, took my wife up to the inaugural Hall of Fame get together at Maricosta College. I hadn't been up there in a long time, and they've done some amazing things to that college. Some amazing things. Now we just got to get football and baseball back, and it'll be complete. But I was the first speaker to go up and speak on behalf of the Seeley family and talk about my college, junior college coach, John Seeley. I coached with him for 3 years. He gave me my first college coaching job and really taught me how to be a college baseball coach. And Chris Chambliss was honored. Willie Buchanan was honored. Joe Palpao, the great quarterback at Long Beach State after he went to Oceanside, then Maricosta, Long Beach State, and many years in the CFL. He's in the CFL Hall of Fame. Clete Adelman, longtime basketball coach. It was great. Roxanne DeMick, who had a great run as a women's basketball coach, women's volleyball coach. She had her team who won the 80 and 81 women's state volleyball championship. They were inducted into the inaugural Hall of Fame. So it was a great day. It was a great day, great weekend. But I had some people that wanted me to share that. So there you have it. Okay, let's get into the Padres a little bit. Let's go to Monday night. I have to laugh about Monday night. And the reason I have to there were so many nights, let alone at Qualcomm Stadium or San Diego, Jack Murphy Stadium, whatever you want to call it. But even in the early years of Petco Park, I would be working on Monday night and you'd get the attendance and they'd say, well, there's 17,000. Well, there's no way there's 17,000 on a Monday night against the Colorado Rockies. And now I look, it doesn't matter who they play. The Padres sell out. They got, 29 sellouts now? It's like ridiculous. The other night, Monday night, they had 45,678. And I realize it's the Dodgers, but that's still an amazing effort. Padres lost a heartbreaker 8-7 in 10 innings. They got outplayed that night. They really didn't play well. They were out hit 12-7. They committed 2 errors. Manny and Wade got all screwed up on that high fly ball, and it ended up landing in the infield when it should have been an easy out. Padres were only 3 of 14 with runners in scoring position. Monday night, Dodgers were 5 of 13. Dodgers able to push across those 2 runs in the 10th inning. Jackson Merrill, an RBI double with 1 out in the 10th, and Gavin Sheets popped out to third. Bogarts, easy fly ball to center field, game over. Everybody's talking about Manny striking out on that high pitch. And you know what? It was a borderline call. It could have gone either way. I think it was probably more a ball than it was a strike. I give Mike Estabrook a lot of credit because most umpires, when Manny got in his face, even though the game was probably going to be over fairly quickly, they'd have got the old heave-ho. He stood there. He didn't rip his mask off and still yelling at Manny or yelling at Schilt. He kept his mask on. And he took a little heat, okay. But I give him credit. If he blew the call, he blew the call. It wasn't going to say, okay, well, we're going to do a do-over, or no, it's ball 4. You can go to first base. He probably realized it was borderline. He maybe was a little hesitant about calling it strike 3 on the star of the Padres, but it told me that maybe he thought he made a mistake because he took heat, because most umpires would have tossed him as soon as he walked back towards him. He'd have got the old heave-ho. And it might have only been for a couple of outs, or who knows, they may have played into the 11th inning. You don't know. Nick Pivetta was not very good on Monday night. Now there was Dustin May, but the thing about Dustin May was able to go that extra inning to where the Dodgers didn't have to exploit their bullpen quite as much. Padres used 6 relievers Monday night. And they're very lucky on Tuesday night. Dylan Cease went 7 innings and pitched great. Was outstanding. But Dustin May went 5, and then Dave Roberts was able to, piece it together with Anthony Banda for a couple, Vesia for an inning, Kirby Yates, who just came off the DL Sunday, pitched in back-to-back games. And then Tanner Scott finished it up, picked up his 12th save. Padres that night, nothing particular that they did offensively that was, really eye-popping other than Manny continuing to hit. He had 2 hits that night. Everybody else pretty anemic for the most part. And the Dodgers, they do what they're doing. I mean, Freddie Freeman, 3 for 5. a double. His 21st of the year already. My God. Shohei, they've done a pretty good job. He had a double on Monday night, but they've kept him under wraps so far. Mookie Betts was 1 for 5 with a run scored. So the Dodgers get game one. Then last night, and you didn't know how this was going to go. You knew Dylan Cease was due, and Bob Scanlon. I've been talking to Scan lately, and he's getting closer. He goes, his bullpens have been pretty good, and Bob sees a lot. Bob's a worker, by the way. Bob is one guy that is always working. When he goes out to the ballpark, know that he's working on behalf of you fans out there to get you good quality information. But he's out there all the time, and he knows what's going on. The guy spent parts of 9 different seasons in the big leagues, and he pitched professionally for 20 years. So, I mean, he finds out information very easily by his eyes. He knows what's going on. And he told me, hey, Dylan Cease is getting closer. He goes, he's about ready to bust out. Well, last night he busted out. He was absolutely outstanding last night. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 5 walks, 11 strikeouts. He had that 1 inning, he walked 3 in a row. But he got out of a bases loaded jam. And then David Morgan finished it up, 2 innings, 3 hits, gave up that 1 run, couple of walks, and a strikeout, but saved the bullpen. But Dave Roberts, he knew. He started Lou Trevino. And Trevino got into a jam in the first. He got out of it, and then they brought in Matt Sauer, who had just flown in from Oklahoma City. And I'm sure Matt Sauer is probably already on a plane back to Oklahoma City or wherever Oklahoma City's playing. He took one for the Paw Club in a big way last night. Matt Sauer, check out these numbers. And his ERA now is only 5.68, but he went 4 2/3 last night. Gave up 13 hits, 9 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, and gave up a homer to Martin Maldonado. I mean, that's what you needed out of him, because once it got to be about 5 or 6-0, Dave Roberts, he didn't even have anybody warming up in the bullpen. And then they bring in Kike Hernandez with 2 outs in the 6th. He's got his little helmet on that he wears, and he goes out there with 2 outs in the 6th and throws the final 2 in the 3rd innings. And how about his numbers? He went 2 1/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, and 2 walks. And he's throwing 50, 51. I think he cranked one up he tried to quick pitch Maldonado at 60. And Dave Roberts, I watched his press conference. He goes, hey, we still got a chance to win a series. And they got all their big guys ready to go for the afternoon game today, and so do the Padres. This is going to be a great game. And you got 2 pitchers that you don't know what you're getting out of. I mean, Randy Vasquez last game, walked 4, couldn't finish the 5th inning. He has bouts of wildness, we know. But when he's on and not trying to do too much, he's pretty good. Justin Robleski, who's going to be pitching today, 1-2 with a 7+ ERA. But Dave Roberts has got Ben Casparius. He's got Jake Dreyer. I mean, he got all kinds of guys down there today. He's going to go for the win today. He sacrificed last night's game. Hey, if the Dodgers are down 5-6-0 in the 5th inning, that's nothing. They can explode on you at any time. I've seen it time and time again. They'll be meandering through it. All of a sudden, the 7th, 8th, 9th inning, man, they're a different team. So today's game at 110 is going to be really interesting. But, staying with last night, you had Luis Arraez. A lot of people were getting on him about the other night in the 9th inning, swinging at the first pitch, not giving Fernando an opportunity to steal second base. Whatever. And it wasn't a hit and run. It wasn't a run and hit. Okay, somebody said, yes, well, maybe they should hit and run. You're not going to hit and run with 2 outs, because a hit and run, you got to swing at anything. It could be bouncing, you got to swing at it. Okay, and you put it in play, you might only get the guy at a second, but with 2 outs, guy throws you out at first, the inning's over. So, I mean, he saw a pitch and just didn't get it. So they ended up going to the 10th and getting beat. But Arraez last night, 3 for 4. He had his 14th and 15th doubles of the year. He scored 4 runs and drove in a run last night. Manny, another big night. 3 for 5, 5 RBIs, got 39 now, a run scored. He's having a hell of a year. And he made a great play last night, going to his left and hitting the ground and coming up and throwing. He's got 11 errors, but man, he's still making some great plays down there. Jackson Merrill, good to see him have a 2-for-4 night. Bogarts, I think he got 2 of his 3 hits off of Kike Hernandez, but who cares? And what I mean by that, when you're a hitter struggling, and he's struggling, man, he was down to 229. He was struggling big time. When you start seeing that ball hit the grass, it gives you a little bit of confidence. And, maybe that'll get him going. I'm hoping so. He's hitting 240, and Cronenworth, 1-for-4 and a walk, he's hitting 237. They're getting nothing out of Cronenworth right now. They got to get something from the bottom of the lineup. Last night, Cronenworth's hitting 7th. And then you got Tyler Wade, 0-for-4. Martin Maldonado, we know not going to give you a whole lot. He's hitting 189. He had a 2-for-4 game last night, and his 3rd homer and his 6th RBI of the year. Bottom third has to be better. But today's going to be an interesting game because both teams are off tomorrow, so you can roll the dice. I mean, Padres may throw, who knows? I mean, if Vasquez ain't on his game, he may be there 3 innings, and they'll go to the bullpen. Everybody will get an inning. And same thing with Dave Roberts. He's not going to leave Robleski in there forever to get beat up. And he also gives up the long ball. So give me your thoughts on the ball game last night. Let's take a look real quick at the pitching matchup for today. Again, 110 rubber game. And by the way, the Giants will be coming into Dodger Stadium on Friday night. 24-year-old left-hander Justin Robleski today. 1-2 and a 7.20 ERA. He's pitched in 3 games with 2 starts, 15 innings, 15 hits, 12 earned runs, 6 walks, 13 strikeouts, 3 homers, and a whip of 1.40. Okay, Randy Vasquez, making his 14th start of the year. 63 and a third innings, 58 hits, which is good. 27 runs, 26 earned runs, 34 walks, way too high. 37 strikeouts, 4 hit batters, 8 homers, and a 1.45 whip. Boy, with the Dodger offense and Robleski struggling, might have a slugfest there today. But again, both bullpens are raring to go. And this is a big game today. It's a really big game because you got the Giants. I mean, let's say the Padres won today. They would be tied with the Dodgers. And if the Giants win today, they'd be in first place, a half game up on both the Dodgers and the Padres. And I will tell you this, the Giants probably, well, not probably, I think right now with what they've got in their starting rotation, they got the best rotation in the division. Zach Gallen hadn't pitched good in Arizona. Corbin Burns is out. And we'll see Arizona this weekend. The matchup on Friday night at Dodger Stadium is going to be unbelievable. You got Logan Webb, who's having a hell of a year, going against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. That would be a hell of a game. No doubt about that. I mean, this thing's starting to get kind of fun right now. Okay, I want to give you an injury update, and then we're going to get out to live questions. So if you're ready to roll with Coach's Crew, get ready. We're going to get to you here in about a minute or two. Okay, Darvish. Threw a bullpen on Monday. Still no timetable. I'm sure he played a little catch yesterday. Probably play catch today. Not sure when his next scheduled bullpen is. Did not get any results yesterday on how he felt. And again, no timetable for him to return. That's one of the great mysteries. But then the other mystery is Michael King. He remains shut down from that pinched nerve. Can't throw at all right now. I mean, seriously, what is wrong with him? A pinched nerve. If they've got it released, now it's gonna be fatigue for a few days, but man, there's got to be more going on in there. But right now we have no idea. Not getting any kind of update on Michael King other than he's been shut down and not throwing. Okay, Jason Heyward, left oblique strain, been out on the IL since May 24th. Took live BP yesterday. Mike Schultz said yesterday in the pregame they expect him to start a rehab assignment on Friday with El Paso. And again, hitting 176 with a 223 on base percentage, 271 slug, got 2 homers in 34 games. AJ's got to find some help in left field. It's starting to rear its ugly head. It really is. And, Gavin Sheets is not great against left-handed pitching. You got to figure out what you're doing out there in left field. Tyler Wade, Brandon Lockridge, they're not everyday guys. You've got to find some help. And that tells you just how limited the Padre farm system is. Okay, now I want to get out to questions. We're going to talk a little bit today about Luis Campusano, but right now I want to get out to our live questions on Coach's Crew, and again, the big rubber game today at 110. Padres in good shape. Dodgers are in good shape for today because they got their bullpen raring to go. Okay, let's get to our questions this morning. Casey King, NL West race is going to be good race to the end. We'll see. I think one of the things that would be the big separator is if the Dodgers are able to get, 3 or 4 of their guys off the IL. They got 15 guys on the IL right now of pitchers, not position players. They got 15 pitchers on the IL. We know Evan Phillips is not coming back. I don't know what's going on with Gonsolin. They said he's not going to need Tommy John surgery. That's good because if he has Tommy John surgery again, you might as well write him off. He'll be done for at least another year. You got to get Dustin May right. He pitches well at sometimes, not very consistent. Bobby Miller, who they were expecting to be a stud in this rotation, he got cuffed around big time last night in AAA. But if their pitching comes around, they get Blake Snell, they get Glass now in there. That's the big separator. Blake Trinan, get him back. They're getting Kopech back. I would imagine we're going to see Kopech later today at some point in time. He pitched Sunday, the first game he's pitched all year, coming off arm problems. But right now, it's a hell of a race. And how about those Giants, man? They're trying to lean at the finish line and get into first place right now. See what happens today. Today's going to be an interesting day, and we're going to have a fun show tomorrow night. We're going to have a lot to talk about tomorrow night after today's ball game, and the Giants-Dodgers playing this weekend at Dodger Stadium. Padres going against the Diamondbacks. It's going to be a great weekend of baseball. We're going to talk about it tomorrow night from 7 to 8. Casey, thank you very much for the question. We'll keep other questions coming. Rich McGuire, that was an embarrassment the way Roberts left Sauer in for 111 pitches, then went to Kike Hernandez for 3 innings. I remember once upon a time, Rich, that and you may have been at the game. I don't know if you stayed all 22 innings. It was against Colorado, and the Padres got beat, I think, 1-0 that night. I signed off from the post-game show at 2:15 in the morning. And then the next day, the Padres were playing in, I think, Houston. I think it was in Houston. And Greg Maddux went out there, and I think he gave up 9 earned runs because the bullpen was just shot. And you had a future Hall of Famer go out there and have to wear it. And that's exactly what Sauer had to do last night. Hey, if you're Sauer, you're going, hey, you know what? The most pitchers I'd thrown this year was like 84, I think he threw in AAA. And they told, hey, you got to go out there. You got to give us some length. And, 111 pitches, if a guy's in shape, that shouldn't be a problem. But Dave didn't even have anybody warming up until he brought Kike Hernandez out of the third base dugout. And Hernandez has pitched before. I mean, he's pitched before this year. In fact, I could probably have looked his numbers up. I know after last night, I think he's pitched 3 times this year. He's got a 2.08 ERA. That's hilarious. But no, Sauer knew he was going to have to wear it. So it looked bad. I don't know about you. I felt a little uneasy about what was going on. But, I listened to Dave Roberts in the post game, and he goes, hey, we got a lot of respect for Matt. They talked about how Ohtani went over and talked to him, patted him on the back, and all the guys in the dugout were saying, hey, great job, man. You hung in there. You helped us out. And we're going to win the game tomorrow because of what you did tonight. Dodgers don't seem to be too concerned about where they're at right now. I brought this up with Dylan Hernandez the other day. Dodgers could be getting beat 7-1 in the 7th inning. And a guy will hit a double, and they'll do their little dance that they do and wave to the crowd. And they'll have a smile on their face. And they know they're probably going to lose that game, but right now, the Dodgers, to me, don't have a big sense of urgency. It seems like they think they can turn it on whenever they really need to. And we'll see where it goes. And who knows? They may end up making the playoffs as a wild card team. We don't know. I think all of us probably assumed that they were going to, have a 5-game lead by this point in time, but it hadn't worked out because of the pitching. And I don't know how they've won 40 games with their pitching to begin with. In fact, I don't know how they did what they did the last couple of years. Last year, they won the damn World Series. And they won a World Series game last year by going bullpen by committee. It's amazing. So I'm sure Matt Sauer was told, hey, you may have to wear it tonight. You're going to be out there for an eternity. And that's exactly what he was, 111 pitches. Rich, enjoy the ball game today. This ought to be a heck of a game. All right, Joe, best guess who's going to be left field for the push at the end of the season? Well, I think the left fielder for the Padres at the end of the year is playing for somebody else right now. How about that? You can't win a World Series with what you got in left. You just can't do it. And there's no way. And you got to get some pitching back, but you got to figure out left field. You got to get more out of left field. And like, you know what? I respect Brandon Lockridge and I respect Tyler Wade, but they're not everyday major league players. There's no way these guys are gonna, become Joe Hardy. And if you know what I mean, if you ever watch the movie Damn Yankees, the guy goes from an old man into a young guy and a superstar. That's not going to happen. I know Wade got a 3-run triple the other night that Teoscar Hernandez, probably should have caught. To be honest with you, it looked like the glove missed the ball. But I mean, that's an anomaly. He's not going to do that on a regular basis. And I don't want to knock him. He's a big league player. He deserves a spot on a roster, and so does Lockridge. But they're fourth and fifth guys. The thing about Tyler Wade, he can play a lot of positions. He's not just an outfielder, he's an infielder. Lockridge can play any of the three. He can bunt, he can run. Good guy to have in the late innings to come in and pinch run. But those guys, they get exposed day in and day out when they have to play. So I think the question that you asked, the answer is he's playing for a National League or an American League team right now. We have no idea who it's going to be. But thank you very much. I appreciate that, Joe. All right, what else we got? You got any more? Okay, we're going to get to Luis Campusano. Okay, here's the take on Campusano. He finally appeared in a game last night. He not played since May 31st. He didn't get into a game until June 10th. He sat for 9 games. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't have sat for 9 games. He still doesn't have a hit. He's 0 for 14. He grounded out last night. He's appeared in 8 games. He's 0 for 14, 6 walks, 6 strikeouts. They're not going to let him catch. Why is he here? Why is he here? He was tearing it up in AAA. They bring him up and they put him in the cooler. When he first came up, they let him play against left-handed pitching, got off to a slow start, and now he doesn't play for 9 games. I mean, that's terrible. It's a wasted roster spot right now, folks. You got to find somebody. Is there nobody in AAA on the Padres that can come up and be a right-hand hitter? Are they so thin in the farm system that they've got basically their third string catcher just sitting there making, whatever he's making per day and not playing? If I'm Luis Campusano, I'm pissed because I'm 0 for 14. But I'm stewing every day. Why the hell am I not getting an opportunity? I was tearing it up in AAA. They bring me up. I played originally. They sent me back. They bring me back, and I'm not playing at all. And I'll tell you another guy who I think needs to play more, because I know all of you out there are big Cronenworth fans. I would not play Cronenworth against left-handed pitching, especially against tough left-handed pitching. I want Iglesias in there. Okay? Now, today, I'd run Iglesias in there. He'd be my second baseman today. He's every bit as good a defender, if not better, than Cronenworth. He's got a better idea of what he's trying to do at the plate. I'll be honest with you. I've always liked Jake Cronenworth, and there's a lot to like about him, but I'm kind of over him. If you go back and look at his baseball card. Look on the back of his baseball card. And his first year was the year of COVID, where he hit, 285? He hasn't come close to that. So he's hitting 237 right now. And he can't hit left-handers very well. And last year, he was dismal against left-handers. And we know Iglesias hits left-handers very well. Hit over 400 last year. 95 at-bats. He hit like 405 for the Mets last year against left-handed pitching. Got to get that guy in the ball game. If he's healthy, you got to play. I'd have him in the lineup today. If he's healthy, he's playing. He's my second baseman today. But getting back to Campusano, what's the plan for him? He's supposed to be your catcher. Okay, Salas, we can't worry about Ethan Salas. He's still got a bad back, and we don't know when he's coming back. They said, late June, early July. Haven't heard an update. He was hitting 188 in high A ball or in double A. Okay, he's so far away right now, you need a microscope to find him. Okay, but I like him. I think he's going to be a damn good catcher, and I think eventually that bat is going to catch up with his defensive skills. But why is Campusano here? And if he's going to be here, you got to find a way to get him into a ball game. I mean, they're not going to let this guy catch. Then why don't you just, send him down to AAA, trade him, do something. If I'm Campusano, man, I can't wait to get out of the Padre organization because they have no plan for him. Now, he should be starting today as a designated hitter. Let's see if he's in the lineup today. Left-handed pitcher, start him. That's why he was supposed to come here. I know he's 0 for 14. But if he's going to be on the roster, you got to play the guy occasionally. You can't play him once every 9 or 10 days. That's my take on that. Okay. Let's get to, what else we're going to get? Let's get to the standings here. Okay. Pretty simple. Look at the Dodgers. They've dropped 6 of their last 10. They're having a rough time right now. They're still 12 games over 500 at 40-28. Giants 39-28. They've won 6 in a row. Padres 38-28, a game back. Arizona trying to crawl back to that 500 mark. You get to that 500 mark, anything can happen. 33-34, 6.5 back. And remember, tomorrow night we're going to have Brad Sesmet on, and I guarantee you the Diamondback fans are going to be fired up and ready to go on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then you got the Rockies at 12-54. I'm still amazed by that. Unbelievable. But hey, if the Dodgers lose today, Padres win, Giants win. Giants tomorrow are half game up on both Dodgers and our Padres. So there you have it. Okay, let's get to some of the mailbag questions from the last program. See what we got. Padres fan 40. Crowd has been loud during this series, hearing plenty of beat LA chants through the TV. Petco's been crazy all year. I would agree with that. I mentioned the attendance Monday night, and the attendance Monday night was 45,678. And then last night, Tuesday night, it was 45,084. Fans are great. The fans are getting the job done. The fans are number one. They're in first place. They're a lot better than the Dodger fans. Dodger fans are fickle. Giant fans, they're lukewarm. I'm not big on the Giant fans up there. Arizona fans, they're kind of there. Colorado fans are loyal, but they have nothing to root for. Padre fans are by far the best in the West. And I know the Dodger fans, they average more than we do. They got a bigger stadium than we do, but the Padre fans are loyal. And the reason I say that, whether the Padres are winning or losing, fans in San Diego, it's a good baseball town. It was a good football town when the Chargers were here. We have a good sports city. And I know it's a melting pot, but we have a good sports city. And it would be nice if we could get an arena, a big arena, to where you could house an NHL team. I don't know if NBA basketball would go in San Diego, but I can tell you this. San Diego's had a couple of bad breaks with NBA franchises. If the right person came in, maybe. I am convinced NHL hockey would do very, very well in our city. I really believe that. All right, Padres fan, enjoy the ball game today. Okay, what else we got? Mary Sue, what's your favorite current rivalry in MLB? Well, without a doubt, Padres-Dodgers. In fact, I saw yesterday on the MLB Network, they were saying that right now, the Padre-Dodger rivalry is probably the biggest in the sport. And I would agree with that. I'm just sorry we don't play 18 times. I love those. Man, I live for those baseball games. And looking forward to the rubber game today. Thank you very much for that question. But yeah, I think it's Padres-Dodgers right now. Camper Matt, would you rather the Padres trade for a left fielder or a pitcher if you had to pick one? Well, I think it really kind of depends on where you think the health is with Darvish. Is he going to come back? You get to the postseason, you ought to be in pretty good shape. I mean, you hopefully you get King, and you got to know what King's status is. I mean, if they've got King, Pavetta, Darvish is back, and Cease gets on track like he was last night, you're in fine shape because you're not going to use four starters in the postseason. You got one of the best bullpens in baseball. You need some help out there in left field. I mean, we need a guy that can, crush the ball a little bit. I'm not saying he's got to hit 300 and, bring a guy in that's going to hit, 15 home runs from the time he shows up in San Diego, but you got to have a guy that's a threat. And the guys out there right now, if they get a hit, you're like shocked and surprised. So I'd rather have a left fielder right now. That's me. They need a little more offense at the bottom of that lineup. But Camper Matt, thank you very much. Appreciate that. What else we got here? Okay, I guess that's going to do it today. Now remember, tomorrow night, 7:00. I'm looking for these 7:00 shows are fun, and we're doing it again because you folks asked me to do it again. And again, I'd like you to subscribe to the channel, hit like, tell your friends, hit your notifications, and we'll be back in tomorrow night at 7:00 to 8:00. Let's see what happens today. Again, the matchup today at 110 will be 24-year-old left-hander Justin Robleski, 1-2 and a 7.20 ERA, going against right-hander Randy Vasquez. Vasquez on the year, coming off a rough start where he didn't give up any runs, but they had to take him out because he got too wild. Vasquez on the year, 3-4 with a 3.69 ERA. So enjoy the ball game. We'll be back in again tomorrow night, 7:00. Brad Sesmat going to join me on the program tomorrow night. We'll give you a really good scouting report on the Padres' next opponent, the Arizona Diamondbacks. And until then, Coach John Kentera, have a great day and talk to you on Thursday night at 7:00. Bye-bye.